test that to see what it does kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember doing anything in high school. I don't remember going and hanging out with friends or going to dances. I mean, I didn't even go to my high school graduation because I just didn't even care. You know, I mean, it was my thing was get through school so I can go to the garage, and because Dad brought a cool new thing from KLS and we needed to put it on the go-kart, and we're going to, you know, work till 9 o'clock at night to you know, on my go-kart to get tuned up because, you know, KLS brought in something new from NBA or something. You know, that was my life.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that. And what we'll do is we'll rewind a little bit. I'll take you back to a Reno event that I specifically remember with you in KLS in the NBA days. And then we'll have you wrap it up with some Cosmic and Sweet Tech stories. But I remember one of the Reno races. I don't know the details on the track. I just know you crashed. And I knew you bent the front of the cart up. And it was at the end of the day. And I remember walking up to you. And half the time I enjoyed talking to you, even though you were a younger kid. You're just a character. I mean, just some of the stuff that came out of your mouth was just like, who is this kid? It's like, it was just pure entertainment. And I remember you working on your cart. And a lot of times, I think a lot of us are just used to, you know, dads pushing us out of the way and working on their cart. And for me and my dad, we didn't have that issue. I was a dick. I just, to this day, my dad and I do not work well together. And we're finally old enough to understand we don't work well together. We love each other, but there's just certain things we just can't do side by side. Unfortunately, karting was one of them. So I did a lot of my own mechanicking as well. But I remember one time you're working on your cart and I had asked you, hey, where's your dad? And you said, he's not helping me. And I don't know how old you were, 13 or 14. So you're sitting there telling a story. And you're working on the cart. You're doing the front end all by yourself, working on it. And you're telling a story. And I just farted. And then we all started laughing. Like, what the hell? It was like, who is this kid? And then we realized, no, you had actually just farted and had to share with everybody. And I remember it was just so funny because you were just like so into the story. You paused to tell everyone you just farted. But while you're so into the story, you were so focused on getting that front end changed. And you were pulling the spindles off and you were changing the tie rods. And that's just one memory I have from karting that's just so vivid. It's like, man, who is this kid? It's like,
that might have been the time I made my dad so angry that he left me at the track.
In case your mom was listening, I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what happened.
Well, yeah. My mom would have known because she probably had to go pick me up. But, I pissed him off so bad.
He left you at the
just
track.
Left me there. Yeah, I just like, deal with it if you're gonna be a little asshole.
I left that detail out because I have your mom. I was like, what?
I mean,
he left you at the track and he
left
back
me at
to
the track
and
then I guess his stubbornness then makes me. I got it for him. My stubbornness and like, oh, you're gonna leave me at the track? Well, I'll fix it myself. Like, I don't need you.
And that's exactly what you did. You were fixing the cart by yourself, and I'm sure Mike or Mike DeRosier or Speed or someone came over.
Yeah, someone probably helped me get it. Yeah, but I guess that was always me. Like I always felt so accomplished. Like I got satisfaction out of those things. I remember even I think it was on that Vicari in Boise. Like, I mounted the seat. I was like 13, 14 years old. Like, I mounted the seat. I'm sure it was horribly mounted. I know it was, But I remember, like, it was kind of like a fear of mounting the seat. It's a big deal back then to me, and I did it. And I'm like, I did it. I was, granted, now everyone, sitting here like, oh, you mounted a seat. Like, great job, kid. It's nothing. You're just drilling holes. But to me, at that time, it was a huge amount of accomplishment, and I mean, it not necessarily as much as winning a race, but I still had that like mechanical want and know-how of everything that it was a big deal for me to know how to do those things. And I felt very proud that I could change my own axle or something. And I mean, that's, you know, I always say I have two lives in karting. I always have. I've always wanted to, like, I've always loved that mechanical side, working on the go-karts and working late at night. And then I also love the driver's side of the mental, you know, pushing yourself physically and getting better. I mean, you live two lives. I lived like two lives in karting, you know. Now I'm living almost two lives now, doing the business and then the development and then coaching. You know, there's actually seems like 4 different lives in the business, but it was very definitive then when I was a driver and then just a mechanic. Before I started this business, it was like 2 separate lives, you know, and I loved them both equally.
Yeah, well, and to be where you're at, you have to. I mean, you are running your own team now. Now, you know, all eyes are on you. And if you don't love all the aspects of it, you almost have to ask yourself, what am I doing?
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess that's a perfect prolong into, you know, I don't know exactly what happened with KLS. I think a little bit of it was when Scott and Alex and Mike, they were all, I mean, they basically consumed all of Scott and Kurt's time, and, you know, I was kind of getting the stepchild treatment a little bit, or at least I mean, maybe it wasn't. I mean, and I hope I don't offend Scott and Kurt if they're listening. I love you guys more than anything. You guys, I consider you guys family, and I appreciate everything you guys did for me. But like, I think I remember just kind of feeling like the stepchild treatment, and as I should have been. You know, I should have been the number 2 driver, and Scott Speed is Scott Speed for a reason. Alex Speed is Alex Speed for a reason. They're twice the drivers that I ever was, especially Scott is twice the driver than I ever was. I mean, you can't say anything about it. The guy made it to Formula One. I mean, come on. The guy was a Formula One driver, and it doesn't get any bigger than that. Where I didn't even make it out of karting hardly. So, you know, it was justified. So I got the opportunity to jump over to Jim Phillips and the Cosmic North America operation, and luckily that operation was literally next door to you guys at Sweet Tech. And yeah,
that's right there, right there on Grant Line.
Yeah, right there on Guy. I mean, literally next door. That was pretty cool.
I think I have a Cosmic in the garage that you actually mounted the seat in.
Yeah. So I remember
it's never been on the track.
That's pretty cool. That's very
never
cool.
Been on the track.
Yeah. Actually, I remember seeing that go-kart in the shop, in the Sweet Tech shop.
It was, yeah.
I remember kind of like going through the memory bank and looking at the pieces and kind of going through memory lane there. But that kind of preluded me into the engine side of things, because obviously through KLS we were working with Sweet Tech. And then Jim Phillips, naturally, I mean, he was working with Sweet Tech, being right next door. And my dad was starting to help. I think that's when my dad got a really strong relationship with Rainey. I think he started helping him build out his dyno room. You know, being my dad was in construction, he knew, you know, the contractor work, and helped Rainey build the dyno room and everything. But I was still in high school, like in later years of high school then, so I would do my summers. I would do half the week at Jim Phillips, working at the Cosmic race shop, and then to work off my bill there, and then to work off my bill that I was accumulated at Sweet Tech, I started working at Rainey's shop, and that's where I remember living at Rainey's house on an air mattress in his guest. I don't know if it was even a guest bedroom or if it was just kind of like a dining room that, you know, everyone kind of in America has that dining room that no one uses, and or being on an air. It might have been a room. I don't remember, but I remember I was downstairs. His kids had the upstairs room, and him and Samantha were upstairs. And my wake up call every morning was, Rainey's daughter Kennedy, like with a binky in her mouth, and she was probably only like 2, really couldn't speak, but old enough to walk, and she would walk to the edge of the bed, like kind of silently. I wouldn't wake up, my deep sleeper, and she'd kind of like wave her arms and start making noises, like wake up, dude, and I'd wake up, and then she immediately freeze, and she stop, and like not say a word, and I'm like, okay, Kennedy's up, that means I need to get up, and yeah, I mean that was my life, and every summer I'd work at Jim Phillips, and Jim Phillips would never work late. And I mean, at that time, Rainey, I mean, he was a machine. I mean, and that still is. I know he works late and gives everything in his product, and obviously it shows. I mean, Sweet Tech is by far the most successful professional high-end engine tuner in the country, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but we'll just say that on the podcast at least. And I would work at Jim Phillips, and then I'd go home with Rainey. We eat dinner at Rainey's. I mean, he'd spend time with his kids because obviously they were Keegan and Kenny were only 4 and 2 or 5 and 2 at that point. I don't know exactly their age difference there, but and we'd go to his house, eat dinner. His house was fairly close to the shop, and then I remember it was like 7 to 8 we'd be at home, or maybe 6 to 8 he'd be at home, and I'd stay at home with him. And then we'd go back from 8 to midnight each night, and he'd be sitting there working. And I remember I'd get the bad jobs at first, of maybe taking the Honda packages. Obviously Honda came in packages where it was all bagged up, so I'd be sitting there cutting bags, putting them in little dividers and
the plastic trays,
or plastic trays, or cleaning up the mill area. Or cleaning up engines that people had sent in, and obviously you had no idea what brake cleaner was or clean rag. I mean, because it looked like they went through the Baja 1000 before they sent their engines in to get service. So yeah, I mean, I started off there, and I just kind of work off my bills there and stuff, and yeah, I think I did that for about a year. I think about a full year, and it did the summer, like I said, in Sweet Tech, and any days that I had off of school or any weekends that I wasn't going out and testing, I just spent my weekends either at Sweet Tech or Cosmic, and I mean, I wasn't necessarily learning a lot, but I mean, at least you were there at Sweet Tech, I started learning about engines and how transmissions work. And Rainey was extremely patient, and just sitting there watching the guy work. It didn't matter if he was putting together an engine or porting an engine or sitting there on the mill, or lathe cutting a head, or him just watching, learning, absorbing, and Rainey was one of those guys that I look up to this day still, that the way, I mean, that guy's like, I don't know if you ever went to school for mechanical engineering, but that guy is a mechanical engineering genius, and he doesn't like cut any corners. It's like, it's not good enough till it's perfect, and he really ingrained that into my mind. It wasn't like, well, that's how it comes, and everyone's doing it like that, so it must be good enough. If he sees something mechanically wrong with it, it's like, no, that's not right. Like, we got to make it perfect. If I got to mill something or modify it or this or that, I want, if it needs to be straight every time and it's 1 degree off, no, we're going to cut it, we're going to grind it, we're going to re-weld it, we're going to re-mill it, we're going to do everything so it's perfect. And it's not going to exit this shop, it's not going to have the Sweet Tech name on it until it's perfect. And then we're going to go on, and it's got to be perfect every time. It's not going to be perfect just for these guys. It's like, no, if it exits the shop, it's got to be perfect. And learning that method of work, or however you want to say it, I guess I'm not super articulate with my words, but learning that method and taking that method to what I do now, and it looks like every day that I've learned from Rainey, I've done, and I think it's really helped myself, go about the things and going about the right way and trying to be that perfectionist on everything, and every little thing adds